Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Uh, I was sitting here reading some of the comments, and a couple of them said, "Let's get Shane to 1,000 subs." I want to tell you, there's only unless we get about 300 and some watchers tonight, it's going to be very tough to do. I've been getting 5 6 trickled in here and there, but it'd almost take a love raid to get 60 subs, in just a matter of a couple hours. It's tough to do, but it is a good goal, and I like y'all's ambition, and I'm rooting for it too. So I really enjoy that. I love them spam callers. Anyway, hopefully everybody's doing well tonight. I don't think I've missed anybody except Ray. Hello, Ray. Uh, yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I'm hoping, if we can get a good push here the next day or two, and highs up are several higher, but they keep taking them away from me. So, like they're either jacking with me or we got people that's dropping out. I don't know which. Could be both. Meanwhile, Patriot, hello. So anyway, uh, like I said, the title, with all the hype in the news, and yet it's still all speculation, every bit of it. And like I went back and looked at a few articles. It was 3 days ago, and everybody's talking big news, big news. Well, they've already changed the narrative of it. Well, how's that big news if it changes every couple of days? That's just called, watch this, we'll distract you. Don't worry about it. We got you. Just don't make no sense to me why people fall for that propaganda. Joyful, how are you? Cool Gamer, hello. Good luck with that, fat man. Vicky Searles, hello. So anyway, it's good to see everybody. Try to catch everybody that I can. I don't like leaving anybody out. If they're willing to share their time with me, I might as well share a few seconds with them. I'd ask if everybody had a great weekend, but I've been talking to everybody all weekend, so I'm just hoping everybody's had a good Monday. Sonia, hello. Country homesteading. Did you get your husband off to work for the week? Anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and drop this link real quick and see if we got any partakers in conversation. Uh-oh. They're stuck in the plant, huh? Hey, Shell from Oklahoma. Always good to see a neighboring Oklahoman in here. Good, good. Where are you coming from, Shell? Well, I wish I still had a lot of great news and stuff I'd talk about, but anything I put out, like I said, is going to change in just a couple of days. They'll change the narrative, or they'll just sweep it under the rug, and then they'll never come of it. Hawaii. Hello. You're supposed to go to Hawaii in the winter and come back in the summer, aren't you? Kind of doing that bass backwards. All right, boys and girls, I did drop the link, but if I need to do it again, I will. Navy vet from Michigan. I know there's a lot of Marines up there too. That place is just plumb full of military veterans. Southern Oklahoma. Where are you from in Southern Oklahoma? What area? I used to live down there around Waurika and Comanche and Duncan. That's where my son is from, is down at Comanche. That's basically almost southwestern Oklahoma. Not far from Wichita Falls, Texas, that's for sure. Lived down there a while. Yeah, some of our fuel was starting to head back up too out here in the middle of Oklahoma. I'm like, in Kansas. Boy, it's getting ridiculous. We supply our own. How's it going up? Regulations, I guess. Hey, rock steady. Been a day or two. Mariana Carbona. Hello. Vancouver. Huh. Anyway, I'm going to drop that invite again. In case somebody wants to come up, have a visit about where they're from or whatever they want to visit about. I don't care. Whatever they want to bring up. As long as it ain't, mean or hateful towards the panel or the chat or other channels. I try not to pick on other channels. Every once in a while something may slip out, but I try not to. It's just not the right thing to do. Just because some of them do it don't mean I'm going to. Ardmore, born in Elk City. Yep. I got a lot of family in Elk City and used to have a bunch of it down in Ardmore. What was that, Murray Lake? All of them people were going up in them caves, and then when the tide had come back in, they'd all drowned up in there. Lake Murray, is that it? I think that's it. I know that's right, Rock. Well, we ain't got no chatters in the house tonight, do we? No one wants to come up here and visit with me. It's okay. It's all good. I'll sit here and just have a conversation with the chat out there. I didn't quite catch that country homesteading. Hey, Q City. Viking King. Yeah, there's like I said, I tried to read through some of the crap that's on the headline news today, and I watched some of the other people that, put out breaking news, and I couldn't see anything so breaking that it was interesting. I can, if everybody will be patient with me a second. I could go find something that was sent to me. Here we go. Okay. Y'all still there? Mike Muzzo. Meza, how you doing? Yeah, down there at Ardmore. Something about the way that water comes in and out. It'd recede back a little bit, and everybody go, spelunking down in them caves, and they didn't know when the tide come back in. There's been a lot of people, even little boats, would sail back up in there a little bit, or float back up in there. Yeah, they was there for years back in the 80s, just pulling people out of them things. They'd have to send scuba divers in to go get them. They already knew what their fate was. Okay, I got something I'll share with everybody real quick. This compliments of one of the mods. Now, I thought it was really interesting, and it's an old one, so please bear with me. It's only 2 minutes long, so give me just a second, and I'll rip her up here. Hang on a second. Sorry, had to get a hold of the upstairs chaos. Okay, where was I?
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I'm 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I'm Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. I'm Lee, Grant, Abe Lincoln. I remember the Alamo, the Maine, Pearl Harbor. When freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over there. I left my heroic dead in Flanders fields, on the rock of Corregidor, on the bleak slopes of Korea, and in the steaming jungles of Vietnam. I am the Brooklyn Bridge, the wheatlands of Kansas, and the granite hills of Vermont. I am the coal fields of the Virginias and Pennsylvania, the fertile lands of the West, the Golden Gate and Grand Canyon. I am Independence Hall, the Monitor. I am the Merrimack. I'm big. I sprawl from the Atlantic to the Pacific. My arms reach out to embrace Hawaii and Alaska. 3 million square miles. I'm more than 3 million farms. I'm forest, field, mountain, and desert. I'm quiet villages, and I'm cities that never sleep. You can look at me and see Ben Franklin walking down the streets of Philadelphia with his bread loaf under his arm. You can see Betsy Ross with her needle. You can see the lights of Christmas and hear the strains of All Lang Syne as the Celtic returns again.
Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that.
I am the nation.
Well, here we go again. Let's try to get this shut down here. All right, I got her figured out. Yeah, one of my mods was so pleasant to share that with me. Hit me up 2 or 3 days in a row, and to do it, I just never had time. And finally, they got me backstage and whiz business. They said, "You got to watch this." I said, "All right." I'll play it. I thought it was pretty good after I watched it. It wasn't the same one I thought I'd see. Thank you, Elaine James. I appreciate that. And yes, I feel fine other than just a stopped up nose due to allergies and BS. And thank you, Michael Gale. Sonia, thank you. I'll give credit where credit's due. It was Red that shared that video with me. She had been out goofing around somewhere and run across it. Thought it was pretty good. So she thought it'd be fun to enjoy with everybody else. Sorry, had to get rid of some excess phlegm in my nose. So anyway, try to get down tomorrow and get me something to kind of dry up all this mucus and this runny nose syndrome. Anyway, I'm going to drop the link again. If no one wants to come up and visit tonight, it may be a short night. All right, there it is. Hello, Jeff B. How are you? Yeah, right. Yeah, Jeff, I heard that false crap too. Yeah, I think even Ed put out something today, more NASA false news. I knew it was all going to boil down to a little bit of nothing. More hype. Anyway, the link's out there if anybody wants to come up. I mean, we got too many great people in here for me to shut down this early. So I know what a mango is. I'm on live. Now you need to go play. Go play. Several B, how are you? Oh, damn it. Gotta get this stuff up. Sorry, guys, I don't have a lot to talk about. Seems like the more I talk there for a while, I got okay, and then now it's, yeah, no, I try not to smoke any right now because of that. Because it does aggravate it when I go to smoking. Seems like it breaks that phlegm loose or something. Makes it raw. Yeah, I seen something about that today. Something about the markets weren't looking real promising. No, Sonia, I don't have any cough drops. I wish I did. I guess I need to send somebody to get some real quick. That would sure help me a bunch. Hang on, let me hit mute a second. I'll see if somebody's got time. I don't know what she's working on. So. All right, sorry guys. Yeah, I got somebody that's gonna go get them. Hey, Cindy Fuller, that'll help out a bunch. Get some of there. So I hate coughing y'all's ear, you know. Try a hot toddy. Yeah, I don't have any whiskey. I got some stuff in the fridge I can take, but it takes a day or two to kick in, and it works through. It's a green tea, ginger, honey, and lemon juice in hot water, and it helps cleans the lungs, and get them back in working order. So even for lifelong smokers, it helps clean out all that mucus. So. Willie D, hello. Michelle, good Gigliot, good to see you. Yeah, Michael Hawkins. Yeah, this is what I do is I just put a bottle of water in the back of my coffee pot, because that's why I bought the coffee pot, was for that. And I'll run that hot water through it, and then I'll put my mix in my glass. And then when the water's done, then I'll pour it in my glass, mix it up, and it's good to go. Good to go. Hey, K-N, how are you? I'll get past this here in a second, guys. It usually just takes a few minutes. And trust me, Stephen, if I had it, I would. That I would. Yep, tea and honey. Always a little bit of lemon juice in there. And this is ginger in it also. And it helps with inflammation. So any inflammation inside your lungs, it helps release that. Willie D, how you doing, bud? You want to come up? Put up with me? Oh, I bet you're at work today already. Willie D's buddy Greg's birthday's today. So, hello, Greg. Happy birthday. Hope you're having an easy day, Willie D. Sorry, guys. A lot of things still going on around here. Been a typical Monday. It's been crazy as hell. Son of a gun. Usually I got Dorinda or somebody in here trying to bail off in here. Oh well. I guess we'll go another half hour at least. Maybe if the cough drops help, then we'll keep going. And sorry if I've got a little intermission in between some of the things I say, guys, because I have to take a little breather so I don't get in a coughing fit. You know, Wheezy, I have not. Red, you may be correct. I keep hearing, and the almanac says, "Yeah, we're here for our 50 and our 100-year snows all this year." So if that's coming in, there ain't no telling. Oklahoma could get another 14 foot of snow over a 2-week period. That's a lot of snow. We walked where my stepdad walked off the nursing home roof where he was maintenance man, nursing home and hospital. He could walk off the roof all the way down to the street on a drift. It was about 14, 16 foot tall. So, yes, that's a lot of snow. A lot of people lost their lives. And that was in 1971 or 72. I think it was right before he got here, so it had to be in 71. So I don't think we come back till 73. But there was snow on the ground for 6 months after summer, after winter was over from that mess. Well, you do what you got to do, Shell. Down there, and if you're going towards South Oklahoma, you should be all right. Yeah, I left here and where I live, and I was headed down to Southeast Oklahoma to go to court and over some child support stuff, and for every hour I went south, it warmed up 10 degrees. So when I left here, it was like, I left at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was like 34 or 40 degrees. And for every hour I went south, it got 10 degrees warmer. And I was like, son of a gun. By the time I got there, I was almost ready to take my jacket off. So 4 hours down there. And, so you figure 10 degrees, that's 40, plus it's already 30, 40. So you're looking at 70, 80 degrees. I thought that was wild as hell. No, Wheezy, I do not. I'm not a big fan of it. Ours, I complain about. There's times it can be pretty nasty, but it's usually not bad compared to the Richter scale of everybody else that gets a lot of snow and stuff. But trust me, we know how to drive in it. We know how to, maneuver in it, how to keep going to work every day in it. You get down there to South Texas where poor old Bonnie was, and they got that snowmageddon. There are a lot of people down there that they've never seen snow. That's where accidents start to happen. Yeah, my brother, when he moved out to Brunswick, Georgia, was it Brunswick? Yeah, Brunswick. The first year he was there was the first year it snowed in 70-some years. And people were all over the road. He says it was the funniest thing he ever seen, and he's just zipping right around them. And then 2 days later, it got 70 degrees. He's out there in shorts on his motorcycle going to work in a tank top. And everybody's still dressed and bundled in their winter clothes. So they weren't used to it either. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's pretty neat how seeing different cultures that never really had it and they forget all about, the once or twice they may have had it. Boy, they all just have a relapse. They don't know what the heck's going on. I sure wish I knew how to get rid of them unwanted emails. Anyway, I hope everybody's still doing all right. Like I said, I'm sorry it's kind of boring tonight. I think that should be enough, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Some peace for a second. Got any NyQuil? No, I don't take NyQuil. Thank you, DT68. No, I don't take NyQuil. I don't like taking anything that renders me out of control of my own body. So that's probably why one reason I was never a really excessive, well, I was never a drug user. That's one reason I was. Well, it's not because I knew I had an addictive personality, and if I ever got on them, I knew I'd never get off. So I knew better to ever start them. So I never did. I did start drinking beer. I knew that was going to be an issue back when I started it. So, but what do? I'm getting it back under control pretty good anymore here lately. Every once in a while on the weekend, I'll let it twist a little bit, a couple too many, but I usually do that behind stage, behind the screen, when no one's around. We're in private. Ice storms in Oklahoma. Yeah, we occasionally we'll get one or two. It's not every year, but there is times. And it will drag, power lines down. And if it drags enough of them down, they'll yank in FEMA again. And as sad as this sounds, I hate it. That's what's kept me busy for 8 years now. Power lines going down due to tornadoes or microbursts or fires or ice. And they've had electric companies come in here and they said, okay, we got a 2-year contract, and I've been here over 20 years now. So it works out, which is sad. It works out pretty good for me because usually about every 2 years there's some kind of little catastrophe. They have to go in and replace all these highline wires. Well, actually, I'm the first one they call. They get it down, spooled up, they call me in to haul off the mess. I am perfectly fine with that. Yep, I'm perfectly fine. I mean, everybody's got to make a little money somewhere. And it got slow there. Well, it's still kind of slow. Put everybody kind of in a pickle out here. And so, no, I'm not looking for catastrophe on nobody, but maybe a power line down or two before winter hits would be all right with me. I don't want it during the winter because people have kind of a hard time getting electricity to their house when the powers are out. They're usually pretty Johnny on the spot out here. I think one time it knocked out a whole transfer station, and it took 3 days to get it back up and going. So that wasn't bad at all. They try to keep everything they need on hand for every piece of equipment they got. They got 2 and 3 on hand, ready to go, no matter where it is. So they're pretty good. And usually within just 3 or 4 hours, they got everybody up and going, or at least got them some kind of power to, get some heat on, or, have a light or two. And it's all here. It's all nonprofit, so it works out pretty good. Bluegrass Transport, hello. Oh no, you don't have to worry about that, Bluegrass. No, I don't care if they told me I had 14 cases of it all at once. It ain't happening. I'll say, okay, we'll see you later. I'll go right down to the feed store and buy me a little tube and go to the house. Nope, I will never take that. A lot of people get that way, especially in big cities. Hey, Denise. Kelvin, yeah. A lot of people in big cities get that way real easy. It's too easy to get influenced by all your peer pressure and all your supposed friends you think are pretty good friends. And they may be great friends, but they're just misled also. After all the ones we see can get it, obviously it ain't working. It's obvious they're not working. Diapers worked. How come they didn't work? Well, if 2 didn't work, or if 2 works, then how come 2 didn't work? Yeah, they need to just well, Bluegrass, be careful with that. Give it a couple days before you panic, because I read something on that today, and and it had something to do with the long lines of 3 days ago. Is a different scenario. So the message will change, and depending on who's putting out the message, and if you didn't physically hear Mr. Russia himself say it, then I wouldn't believe it. And you better have your translator on your computer so you can understand what he says. Because if you go by one of the ones that, CNN or somebody like that using, you've already been misled. They're trying to scare the American people into, oh, please help us, government. Yeah, well, last time we asked the government's help, look what happened. I don't believe anything I see out there. Like I said, I used to go watch RT News all the time. It was a Russian television news, and you can get it in English. But half of it was about as bad propaganda as what we get here. They're just telling a different side of that propaganda than what the American version of the propaganda was. So if you're just reading American headline news, whether it's newspaper articles, Breitbart, any of them big name newspapers, magazine articles, just in the news today, uh, any of them, you better be very careful. Sky News is all right from Australia, but they've been known to mislead a little bit here and there too, which maybe because it's misled. I'm not going to say they're bad. I just know that I used to watch him quite a bit too. So it's very hard to find really good information out there because you don't know who to trust and where the source is coming from. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like the CCP and the Republic of China. Them two are going at each other supposedly. Well, look up Amur Sapati. Okay, we'll give you a little heads up on what's going on there. Oh, Kaiser Sose. Oh, Stephen, half the time I just go watch it and start giggling, going, yeah, who's going to believe this crap? And I turn on the internet and go, oh, never mind. I'm not saying all people are gullible. Some just don't know better. But some of the people that grab it and run with it and put it out there, a little premature. Yeah, Denise has been for a long time. Yeah, you got to just. Here's the best thing to do: go CBS, NBC, MSLSD, Communist News Network. Go to all of them, even Fox and Friends and Newsmax. Go to all of them. Listen what all the hype is between all of them, and then just sit back and think. How many of them are out there doing the Mockingbird thing? Okay. You can eliminate pretty much that story right off the bat. There may be little bits and pieces of truth to it here and there. There always has to be. But for the most part, it's just misleading. And they lead you down to one track where it was really leaning towards another. And then you pull up the other ones that didn't have that. And that same propaganda line of, and then you go just sit back and read it and think about it a second ago. A second. And dang it. Try again. I got it. Okay. All right, I was trying to multitask. But anyway, you go look at the ones that had a little different intel on it and give it a couple days and you see where that goes. Because I guarantee both of them will be changing their direction. I keep watching that and watching that. And that's what I've been doing for 3 months, is just watching all the crap that keeps being shoved out there. And everybody panics about it. And then 3 days later, they're panicking about something new. And what happened to the panic 3 days ago? Where was that news? What happened to it? Oh, it just disappeared. Yeah. So that's why I'm real leery of that crap. Bluegrass Transport. Amr Sarfati is an Israel intelligence PSYOP guy. He shows pictures and videos of everything he talks about. Okay. Okay. I'll try to let me get you off of here and I'll save that name so I can go look him up. He may be very interesting to listen to. Hey, Mary Friedland.
How you doing, Shane?
Good, Michael. How are you?
Not doing too bad. Still kind of dealing with my lungs still.
Oh, I am today.
Yeah. My wife's actually making me some tea right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she puts the ginger in it and I think a little bit of lemon and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Lemon and honey. Yep.
Yep, and the honey. Yeah.
Yep. They say it's a really good lung cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I found it. I found it online, and so we found me some green tea, ginger, and honey. It's all mixed, all ready to go.
Yeah.
All I could do is add the lemon juice after I've heated up the water.
Right.
Yep. And I will not use tap water. They said, well, your coffee pot will boil it. Look at the crap that's left in the bottom of your coffee pot if you don't get it drained out right away and washed out.
Yeah.
You leave a bottle of water in there, and there'll be just I don't know, maybe an eighth inch left of that water in the bottom after I fill my cup up. I'll let it sit in there and evaporate. You know what I see in the bottom of that coffee cup? Nothing. Yeah, I think that's a little cleaner. I'm sure there's something in there that's a whole lot cleaner than the sink.
Yeah.
All that chlorine and fluoride in there, I ain't. I'll rinse my head and body off with it, but I ain't putting it internally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I thought I'd ask to come into the chat with you. So.
Oh yeah. No, you're always more welcome. Hi, Comm Sense.
At least I got a good night's sleep last night. The other night didn't do too good.
I'm sorry, to what?
I said that the other night I didn't get very good sleep. And the last night I got some good sleep last night. So
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to open some cough drops here. Oh.
That's good, hon. No.
Yeah, looks like I'll be having a living cough drop with you. Need something.
Yeah. Yeah, it keeps my asthma going and everything else. In California here, it's like a dust hole in here. It just really it's really bad.
Oh yeah.
Now when I lived up in Washington, it was great, man. You always had that great fresh air, and and especially up there by Fort Lewis, it'd rain all up in that area, and they keep the air nice and fresh, and with all the trees and all the good stuff. Yeah, it's totally different compared to here.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Gerald Cummins, welcome. Oh yeah, that didn't work. I guess enough of it was already in my mouth that got into my nasal cavity and went to sniffle, and yeah, that lemon flavor was already in my nasal. That kind of burned a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
Mike, Steve Pence is asking what part of Washington you used to live in.
Well, I grew up in Spokane. Then when I went in the military, came back, then decided I wanted to go into the sniper school. So then I had to change some things around, and then they wanted me to be at Fort Lewis, and so I've been up at I've lived up near Mount Rainier. I've been at Mount Vernon. That's near Bellingham. Lived in Tacoma. So those are the areas I lived in. And then from Tacoma, I ended up moving here to California. My mom was asked me to come and help take care of her because she was dying of cancer from her lungs. And I really didn't want to leave. I really did not. I just did not want to come to California. But, of course, I felt like that was my son duty to go and help take care of my mom until she did pass. And, and then she passed, but she asked me to stay because I was going to go back. I was going to go back to Washington, and she begged me to, before she passed, that I would stay here and watch over my baby sister because she would always meet men that would end up beating her up and, abuse her and stuff. And my mom knew that I could handle that business, and she said, "Can you stay here and protect her?" And how can you tell your mom no when she's basically laying on her deathbed and
Right.
she's telling you she wants you to stay to watch your sister, and because these guys she gets with, they beat her up and stuff. And that's true. One time I called my sister up from Washington. I was talking to her, and her boyfriend took the phone from her and started beating her with it because she thought he thought she was talking to another man, and it was me, her brother, and she got pretty beat up by him. So yeah, she finally got rid of him, but he kept on pestering her. And one day I was sitting on my sister's porch, and he come walking up, and he kind of gave me a like that kind of, "What are you doing?" He doesn't know who I am. And then she come out, she goes, "That's the guy that beat me with the phone." Oh boy, then the chase was on. He was quick. He didn't want to mess with me. He really didn't, because I would have turned him all inside out. Yeah, I don't. That's one thing I don't. A man beating on a woman, that chaps my hide real bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to that. That's that Southern style with me down here. You don't smack a woman around.
Yeah, I've seen it happen to my mom too much. And when I was a young kid, she got married to a stepdad I had, and he started beating her up, and I was trying to protect her, but I was too small to do anything about it. But when I got bigger and I started playing football, and I come home one day and he started beating on her, and that was it. I took care of business. That was it.
Nope. You got to do what you got to do.
Yep, I gave him the boot.
Yep. Well, apparently she wasn't going to.
Well, she was afraid of him, but she was also because he was the one that would go out and make the ends meet, and stuff like that. But
right.
I said, no, it's not worth my mom getting her beat up and stuff like that. So yeah, I basically threw him out of the house, literally by his pants. And I was about 16 years old. So I said, no, that ain't going to happen anymore.
Yep. Them days are over.
Yep.
Did your sister ever find her a good guy that treated her with a crap?
Well, she did finally get married to this one guy. He didn't ever abuse her, but he was just kind of had a mouth on him, and sometimes he would be kind of mouthy, and sometimes he'd like to try to pick fights with her, or sometimes even with me. I said, dude, you know not to do that. Why are you doing that? And I told him a couple of times, if I have to give you a beat down.
Oh yeah.
But
We'll have a coming to Jesus meeting real quick, and then we'll have a different discussion.
Yeah, and then he finally calmed down because he knew I was getting to the point where, he wouldn't want to do it. He knows there ain't no way he's going to be able to deal with me. So my sister finally told me, "Hey, you better calm down. He's gonna rip you a new one." No. So yeah, that's one thing I just can't stand is a man beating on a woman. I'm
not a big fan of it. That's for sure.
No, and I've been married to my wife, for just about 26 years, and I've never, ever, ever laid a hand on her in any kind of a mean way or anything like that.
Hell no, you gotta wait. You gotta go to bed sometime.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I, you get in your little kissies here and there, and have your little, but you don't go to that route. You never do.
No,
ever.
You walk away, give it 5-10 minutes, and then come back. And if you can't get along, go for a drive or go for a walk.
Well, usually, we just take our time and stuff, and then we'll say, but you know what? I still love you. And she does too. And it's all done. It's not worth it.
There's some friends of mine that are elderly. They're probably my mom's age or close to it. And her and her husband, they'll get mad at each other. That's who I bought this place from, was them. And they told me they'll get mad at each other and they'll say, I love you, but I don't like you very much right now. You need to go find something to do. And they will. He'll go out and take care of the cattle, and she'll go to town and go work at the flower shop or whatever she's doing that day. But then by that afternoon, they get together and have dinner, and they're fine.
All right. There you go. That's how you do it. Basically, me and my wife, we talk about it, like we ask, hey, and, if I know I maybe had spoken or said something that wasn't, I don't know, whatever it is, and I know that, hey, I was wrong. I'll tell her, hey, I was wrong. And she does the same thing. But me and my wife, out of a whole year, we maybe have some kind of disagreement, maybe 2-3 times out of a whole year.
Oh yeah. So Robert Lawrence, hello. Good to see you coming in here.
And we're 24 hours, we're with each other every single day, all the time. And
you both retired?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But like today, nice beautiful day. Later on she's gonna make up some hamburgers and stuff, and then later on go out and take a walk and see how much I can do, because I get short of breath really easy. And
yes,
so it's hard, and I don't like taking my inhalers all the time. I don't know. I just like to
not take the steroidal ones, man. They can cause diabetes.
Oh yeah. Well, it does worse things to me than that. I can tell you a little story. I had some lung issue, and I was having a really bad time with it, and so the doctor prescribed me some steroid pills.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, I was taking them, but the problem was there was a side effect. I wasn't sleeping, and I didn't sleep for like 22 to 25 days.
Holy cow.
And I was so delirious. I was starting to see 3 things. I couldn't even drive the car because I couldn't drive it right. And I would just sit in my chair and at night and just like, man, I just want to go to sleep. I just couldn't go to sleep. And it was really bad. I had an episode where, I totally blacked out, and my wife saw me and but it was not good. I was, calling out military stuff and, went down that dark road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't good. But
let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you live near a GNC? Uh,
Mm,
Health nutrition store of some sort?
I'm not sure.
You
We
ought to
may.
look. You ought to look around. See if you can find some maca.
Maca.
MACA, maca root.
Okay, let me write it down here. Because if I try to remember that, I won't.
Yeah.
Oh, if I can get me a pin to work here.
I was going to say eventually you'll find one that will.
Yeah. It's called, so it's a maca root.
Root.
Okay.
And it derives from the Indies. And you want to look for the one that's from the high mountains in the Indies. And they can get them in a little pill or you can get it in powder form. The pills are just easier to take. And it's a powder inside them little gel caps. And what that does is it helps open it does something to your bloodstream that makes them carry more oxygen. And it gets more oxygen to your body parts. And it also helps with your lung capacity. Football players are taking it right now when they go to when they practice down in Dallas all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take it because it helps deliver oxygen. When oxygen gets thinner, when they go play up north, it's still delivering the same amount of oxygen to their body, and they don't get winded as quick. And it works reverse also. So apparently, if it's working for that sure couldn't hurt you any.
So mac root.
Maca root, yeah, MACA.
Maca. Okay.
Yeah, MACA.
Okay, maca. Okay, and look for like high mountain.
Yeah, high Indies.
Oh,
because
okay,
it's made in
Indies.
Indies. Yeah, because this stuff comes from the Indies. I run across it 10, 15 years ago, and I was so already high strung, and I was taking it, and my blood pressure I didn't realize was high. Well, hell, I started having bloody noses all the time. Well, I found out why. It wasn't the maca root doing it, but it was creating so much oxygen in capillaries that was already weak. It was just spreading them out and making them open up. And then my nose would just start bleeding. They said, there's nothing wrong with you other than you're just getting a nosebleed. I really thought something more was wrong with me.
Yeah.
They said, no, just cut back on your doses. You'll be fine. So
yeah.
I did.
Well, I would have never ended up with this unless, I got all that ash, like I've said before, from Mount St. Mount St. Helens,
Right.
Doing our training at Yakima Firing Range. And it was pretty, it was pretty bad. We go out there in the field, our 9-man team, and it was funny. We come back and we were just, been up in the ash, rolling in it, crawling in it, all that stuff. And, if people came from Washington, they know part of Washington, you know how thick that got up over in there. You got at least 2 inches thick. And it's just like when you step, it looks like you're stepping in baby powder. And it's just gray. It's like a lightish gray. And but what happens is when you inhale it and it gets in your nose and it gets in your lungs stuff, and when you cough up, it comes out looking just like black tar.
Yep.
And what happened is it gets in your eyes. Your eyes get irritated, and what happens is that glass starts to rub on your eyes, and then your eyes would start to bleed. Yep. And then I'd end up getting a nosebleed, and then it was really bad.
Yeah,
and our
stuff.
Yeah, our BDUs, we come back. They didn't look like BDUs anymore. They were just grayish looking and everything, because we were out in the field for sometimes 5 days, and just 5 days straight. And then the temperature out there would be sometimes like about 105, 110 degrees.
And then at
And then at night, guess what? It would turn down to, it would go to below zero because, it's a desert area. So there's nothing to hold any of the heat. So it would just turn pitch cold, man. I'm telling you. And we don't got no kind of cover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the only thing you got is what you're carrying on your pack. That's the only thing that, you sweat during the day and then the sweat gets all from the ash gets all mudded on you and everything.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And then at night you're just freezing, man. You're just, especially when you're doing the maneuvers, when you're doing recon, it doesn't stop because it's hot or it doesn't stop because it's cold. You got to keep going no matter what.
They don't like to start fires because they want to keep it simulated identical, right?
Exactly. It's a training where, like if you're in enemy area, you're not going to build a fire and say, hey, here I am. So what we would do is sometimes we'd catch rattlesnake or sometimes scorpions or whatever. We'd get a hold of them and we'd take our sternal and we'd put our helmet kind of like around it. So that way it'd be kind of covered from any kind of light. Because, have you ever seen a sternal?
Yes.
Yeah. So the size of a hockey puck, maybe, and a little bit taller. And then you light that and then you can, get a little bit of heat from it. But we would take and get ourselves a rattlesnake and then we just cut it up and put it on a stick and then just eat it that way.
Oh, yeah. Liz Griswold, hello. You're in a little early for being a Monday, but hello, either way. It's good to see you.
But yeah, it's pretty, it's dangerous, because you got all kinds of critters out there. You got the snakes and scorpions and you got the ticks. Yeah, a lot of ticks out there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was, yeah, you always want to keep your hair short, which of course you're in the military, you've got to anyway, but, you got other places you have to check too.
Oh, yeah. Ticks and scorpions don't bug me, but the one thing it does is wake up in the morning, you got a rattlesnake cuddled up next to you trying to stay warm. I'm not a big fan of that.
Well, I remember one time when I was doing it, we were
down in your down in your gunny.
No, I had when I was doing, I was a sniper, and sometimes you have to sit there, sometimes even 2 days without moving. You have to defecate and pee in yourself and everything. You just can't move. And one time I was sitting there, all of a sudden this rattlesnake just started slithering right in front of me. He went right underneath my rifle and just kept on going. Yeah, that was a little bit too close. When we get rattlesnake, we have better ways of taking them out without them being right in front of your face. Yeah.
Yeah. That's too close for comfort for me.
Yeah, but good thing I knew how to stay still, and he didn't recognize that I was even there. He just kept on. He just thought I was another bush.
Oh,
I'm just glad he didn't want to try moving in there because then he would have felt my heat from my body.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm. But
it must have been early enough in the day when he did this. He wasn't looking for heat yet.
Right.
He was still looking for groceries.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's it.
But if he had sensed it, he'd been back later.
Yeah. Yep. I made sure I held my when I did notice him, I held my breath. So I took a deep breath so he wouldn't smell my breath. Because you know how with their tongue it comes and it's flipping around to smell anything that could be lunch, or breakfast. And so I just took a deep breath and just held my breath until he finally went past me. Because even that, they'll just from your breath they'll pick it up with their tongue, and that's all it could be wrote. And then I'm right in front of them, and I wouldn't have much of a chance to take my K-bar out and take care of it. But
yeah, that's not much of a respawn time.
No. So Yeah, it gets pretty hairy when you
Yeah.
when you do that kind of, you know, military job. I guess that's what we'll say. Uh, you know, you get into things like that, you experience a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember
I
one time. Remember one time we didn't have anything to. We were looking for something to get to eat, and we were out there trying to chase this wild chicken, trying to
okay.
catch that thing because we needed something to eat. We needed some protein, and uh,
Right.
we finally caught it. But yeah, it was funny. We were out there trying to chase this wild chicken, and we're just running around trying to catch that thing.
Hello, you're a sniper. I would have chased it 1 foot.
Well, you know, when you're out there in Yakima, you ain't unless you're on a live fire or something like that. You're not carrying real ammo. You're just, you know,
Oh wow.
we're using a mile system. Have you ever heard of the mile system?
Uh, I think I have, but I'm not. I can't. Go ahead and tell me because I don't know that I have. I think I have.
Okay, back in 19, I think it was 82 or 3, they brought in this new gear that you could put on soldiers. You put it on your helmet, and it's got little knobs on it. And then you got a vest that puts on you can put on. It's got knobs on it, and then on the back it's got a box. And what happens is when you mount this on your rifle, it will shoot a laser. And what it'll hit that knob, and it'll read as a miss, or read as a hit but not a killing hit, or it read as a killing hit, and it would just go beep. You know, it just won't stop beeping until
Right.
someone comes by and turns you off. Or
Right.
if, like I say, it misses, it will go beep beep, and then if it's just a miss, it will go beep. That means that lets you know that you're being fired at.
Right.
So we used to mount these on our soldiers. We'd mount them on military vehicles, even helicopters. You know, and that would be our training, and that would be like like if we're doing like a company going against a company, or even a battalion. It
Right.
all depends, you know. And so you got like 200 or 300
Michael,
guys that he
Michael, you're starting to robot a little
there.
bit, bud. You're roboting a little bit.
So what we did is this hill, and they wanted us to keep that hill, so we'd end up firing down at the company that was coming up to try to take it. So,
Right.
but that's how they trans.
Hell, Frank. Yeah, Michael, you're roboting real bad.
No, really.
Yeah, real bad. Well, he may jump right back in, so we'll just see. Frank Stein, hello. There he is.
There we go.
Ah, yeah, that much better.
Okay, yeah, I had to switch over from our internet around here has been acting kind of goofy, and so I had put it on, took it off my Wi-Fi, and I was using just regular internet.
Yeah, data.
So yeah, so then I just switched it back. So
Alrighty.
so I know a lot of people. You know, there's someone in there, a country something. They said, hey, you know, I would like to hear more about your stories and read, and you know, I thought, well, what the heck, I'll jump up there with Shane. Just got to excuse some of my coughing a little bit, but
that makes two of us. We're the coughing twins.
Yeah.
I only eat one of them cough drops, and it helped tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
It took away that where you get that where it just comes up and you can just feel it squeezing right until you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it took that part away.
Now, is it coming from your throat, or is it coming from lower down?
Feels about like right under my thyroid, right in about mid throat. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's, yeah, like right there. Now,
Yeah.
when I lay down at night, it feels like it's in, I can tell there's a little bit of fluid in my lungs.
Have you been tested for asthma or anything?
Yes, I have.
So do you have asthma?
Nope. And no
Oh,
emphysema yet either. Now, one of my
really?
lungs is elongated from the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, is that a good thing, bad thing? They said, well, sometimes it can be nothing, but a lot of times that indicates the start of emphysema.
Mm,
So, and it very well could be.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean, I've
my
only smoking for 35 years or better, so I'm sure it
yeah.
has something to do with it.
Yeah, I've never smoked in my life. I basically got it basically from secondhand smoke from my mom because she was a she was a chain smoker. This is what my lung doctor has told me now because I went through my history. And
Right.
then I told him about my me serving over in Yakima Firing Range in Washington State with that ash, and he said, he said, okay, that's what I'm seeing because they had a CAT scan because I have a pacemaker, so they can't
Right.
do it. They can't do the MRI. You have to you can only do a CAT scan, and he said, oh, there's something on your left lung, and it looks the similar like asbestos.
Yep.
I,
That's what I said the first time me and you talked about it, was it not?
right. So he said that's what it looks like, but of course, that's from the ash too. The ash can do that. That settled into your lungs. Now that you've gotten older, it's giving you problems. So, but yeah, I have a pacemaker. I had a pacemaker put in when I was 29 because
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's not because my heart was bad. It's because my heart was still good. Now you're going, wait a minute.
Yeah, I had to slow it down. It was overworking.
Well, no, it wasn't overworking. It was underworking. My heart rate would drop down. My normal heart rate is probably 40 beats a minute. But when I go to sleep at night, it would drop down to 10 beats a minute, and sometimes it would even stop. The reason why that is because when you are in the military and when you're when you're a sniper, you train your body to your mind to slow your heart down. So when you're
Correct.
taking those long shots, because of course being a shooter, your heart rate can throw your aim off,
Oh, yeah.
and even your breathing. So we would practice holding our breath up to like 8 minutes, and then we would slow our heart rate down, and I could slow my heart rate down to about 10 beats a minute. So, but
Wow.
I had to practice that and practice it and practice it. And so what happened is when I got 29, I was laying in bed and my heart wasn't beating. So I got up and I hit my back on the wall, on the corner of the wall. And so then it started beating again. And then so I went to the doctor and they did all that heart monitor stuff. And they said, yeah, when you go to sleep at night, your heart rate drops way too low. And he said, since you're 29, it'd be a good idea to get a pacemaker put in.
Just keep it
So,
regular.
right. So it's set at 55. That's even lower than most people that are here. It's still lower.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I was going to mention Hello, Sister in Christ and Country Homesteading. That Zerabes cough medicine, is it available in our area? I'm not sure I've heard of it. Well, I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know if it's available here or if I've seen it in, local surrounding cities. So I'll have to do some looking.
but those are the kind of things you go through when you know, when you go through all that training, and they tell you about it too. So if you're not up to being able to do stuff like that, then it wouldn't be a good idea to try it. You
Correct.
know, it is dangerous because you have to you utilize your mind to slow down your heart rate.
You
And
better know what you're doing, or you could just utilize your mind to kill yourself.
correct, exactly. So we would just, when we go to the classes and we'd sit down and they would teach us how to do it, we'd practice it, and we get better and better at it. It's
Good.
a technique. It's a technique that's, a lot of guys could do it. Some guys couldn't do it. You know.
Yep. 8,000 yards. We'll have to go turn on another light. It was getting pretty dim. But anyway.
Yeah, so I guess you got a few vets in here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's it looks about like 80. It was about 116 when we first started talking.
Mm-hmm.
But it's typical, there's people coming and going and checking out other channels.
Oh yeah.
I was waiting. I'd seen somebody ask Liz, anyway, I'd seen somebody ask Liz if his was a pre-record over there.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to see the answer to that. So I've been trying to watch for that.
Now, I've been watching, me and my wife, we like to sit down and listen to Mike Adams. Have you ever heard of him?
Mike Adams, yes.
Okay. So, yeah, we were listening to one of his broadcasts. I think it was the 23rd. So, it was pretty good.
Huh. He down out of Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, the thing is, he doesn't come on YouTube. He comes on, oh boy, my wife sets it up. I can't remember what it is. But you'll be able to find him if you're computer savvy. You'll be able to find where he's at.
Oh, I know where he's at.
Okay.
Yeah, I visited with him and Scott McKay a long, long time ago, and when I got all that crap set up, so
yeah,
for another little show I was on. So,
oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, good people.
Yeah, good people.
Yeah, just trying to run down through them again to see if there was anything said. Aha. Okay. I seen the intro I was looking for. I will leave that alone for now. I'll give my little friend a call today or tomorrow. This not tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, I was hoping Jeff B would have came up. He's always good for.
Oh yeah, he's always good for a minute, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's come up on me one time since I've been on. Mm-hmm. He comes to the chat quite a bit, but hey Tracy, how are you, girl? Shepherd of the Forest, same one. So
yeah, I was here the day that when he came up, and said hi to him and stuff, and then a little bit after that, then he said he had to take care of something, or then he had to go.
Yeah, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine.
Yep. Things happen.
I'm not going to bring him up. I'm not going to bring him up for pounding for information. I'm going to bring him up to talk and giggle because when he goes to cutting up and giggling and having fun, he's a blast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Travis, how are you, bud?
Hey, Travis, how you doing? I can't read the chat because I'm on the phone, so I can't read it. And if I turn on my tablet to take a look at the chat, then it interrupts with the live stream we're on. So
right,
I don't have it on, so I can't see what people are saying in the chat. But after the show, I can always go back and take a look at it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a. I was trying to read this. He got another strike, so he's in timeout for 2 weeks again already.
Really?
Damn it.
Again?
Yeah, we
Man.
better behave in class more often.
Man. I tell you, it just sucks. That's all I can say. It just sucks that we can't have our freedoms of speech.
Oh, I know it.
It's really sad, you
Yep.
know. And as a veteran that served our country, that that's a big one of our big rights that we have as an American, and they're just taking that.
That was one of the biggest things he was fighting for.
Correct.
And that's the first thing they're trying to rip away.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, it's just terrible.
That's just messed up, Bill. Travis, do you want to come up?
Yeah, come on up, Travis.
If you ain't got nothing going on tonight, I'll drop a link.
Yeah, come up and say hi to us there, Travis. I can't see nothing in the chat, like I said, so.
It's probably not like you got nothing better to do right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked with Travis on the phone and with Ken, and
oh yeah,
he's a good guy.
Did King finally get out of Florida?
Yeah, he got out of Florida. He wanted to be sure he was out of that way of that hurricane coming. So I thought maybe
he ended up into Georgia or somewhere.
Yeah, I believe that's where he. Last time I had a chat or text him, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, get out there in the center of that state somewhere and get away from them coasts.
Mm-hmm.
Them coasts are pretty places until it comes hurricane seasons.
Yeah.
Then they can become not so pretty.
Right. And he's got that motor home, and yeah, that won't stand too good.
Well, he already just went through a rainstorm and it damn near drowned him.
Yeah. So
he got to do some work to that thing. So he's got to get in some dry country and get busy on it, because Georgia can get pretty wet come, winter.
Right.
That's its rainy season is in winter.
Yeah. I thought he was going to maybe head up your way, but
I don't know. Like I said, he hadn't said for sure, and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, Carol Z, it's never a bad idea to have a little bit on the side.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yep. We have our stash and stuff like that, what we need. If anything, we don't have to worry about hurricanes here, but we got to worry about earthquakes, things that. I got stuff, I live in an apartment, I don't have no way of going out there and growing my own food and chicken coops and all that other stuff. I don't have that. I live in a small little apartment, but I do have what we need if things go down. I know how to take care of it and got what I need.
Good.
And I've got some MREs and got some other dehydrated, food, and then I got a freezer, with some food in it. And
yeah, Greg, it's sad that there's people still listening to all that opium stuff. I know I'm not saying some pieces of it may not come true eventually, but I mean, use just common sense. I mean, if something was going to happen, wouldn't you think we'd see some trickle effect already? It's just more distractions, guys. It's just more distractions.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate seeing people get treated that way and played for suckers. And I'm just not going to do it. And that's why I don't do, a bunch of fear porn and opium. Mm-hmm. I just get up there and talk to people, whatever they want to talk about, fine. If they ask my opinion to something, I'll give my opinion, but that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just an opinion.
Right.
So, I'm not going to cuss anybody for it. Hey, I followed some of that crap when the very first come out a couple years ago, and I thought, something ain't making sense here. And that's why I stepped back and said, yeah, no, I'm out of that game.
Well, the way I look at it, you do best for what you think is right, because not
Right.
everybody's going to think the same way, you know. And some people want to be a little bit prepared. Some people want to be, really super prepared. Well, that's up to them. You got the right to do that, and if that's what you decide what way you want to go. It's about our freedoms. We still got a little bit of it left.
Oh, yeah.
We got a little bit left.
Greg, I'm not going to say you are incorrect. I'll put his up. Can you see that on the bottom of your screen?
Well, I mean, like I say, everybody has their opinion about things, and
Oh, yeah.
And that's the right. That's why live in America. Now, if you lived over in say North Korea, well, you would be in bad shape.
Yep.
You'd end up finding yourself on a stake or something. So that's our freedoms to have to say what we want.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to believe, you believe what you want to believe. Just the same way that with religion. You want to believe that there's a God, and you can believe there's a God. If you don't, well, then that's up to you.
Yeah, only you can pick your path.
There you go. Exactly.
Only you.
That's it. But the day you find out and you're going, oops,
yep.
I went down the wrong one. You got your left and you got your right. What way are you going to go? Hopefully you don't pick the wrong one. That's all I can say.
Well, like I said, I try not to judge people.
No, you don't never judge because,
well, I wouldn't judge.
Yeah. That's not our, the only judge we got is up in heaven. That's it. That's the way I look at it. That's our only judge. So, but we all have our own opinions and thoughts, and that's what makes us all different.
Oh, yeah.
Like I say, in North Korea or some places in this world that you can't have nothing like that. Even if you think that way, different way, you don't have the right to even think that way.
Right.
So
yeah, there's some weird people out there that how they get so upset because you won't follow just everything they believe.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't understand that.
Me neither.
Yeah, Liz, there's been so many conversations go on there for a second. I'd have to go back and catch up again. I apologize.
Missing some stuff in the chat?
Well, just Liz. She put, I don't know. I'm assuming it is Shane, and then a delayed answer. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember what was being said. There's what, 100 people, 99, 98, somewhere there in here. So I can't tell. I try to keep up with everybody.
Yeah.
Nomadic Brit, how are you?
Yeah, it's kind of like this. It's like different people. Different countries have their own ways of believing. Like one country, a man can marry he's 40 years old and he can marry a 10-year-old child. A lot of people say, "Whoa, now that's but I don't agree with it, of course."
No, I don't either.
But that's what they believe. They believe that's all good. That's
What demented mind do they live in? I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. Liz, I did get it once you said that. Yeah, the pre-recorded. Okay. Yeah, it was probably a pre-record with. Did it say premiere or did it say live? It said premiere is definitely a recording with live chat, and he was just in the chat answering chat. Yeah, Tracy, I heard that.
if anybody's got a question or something like that, they can ask. I just can't see it because I know sometimes people have questions about maybe military stuff that they don't understand.
Oh, yeah. And if someone does, I'll throw it up on screen so you can see it.
Yeah, like I said, I turned my tablet on, but I do that, then it'll really definitely put me in a buff.
Oh, yeah.
I had it on the other night when I was up, and I noticed I was buffing some because I had it on, but I was checking for something. I was trying to do some research on a couple things that I wanted to see what was going on. So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, some couple breaking news came up, and I wanted to see what it was, and a couple of them were pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's going on over in China, but something big is happening over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. From what I'm hearing, is the leader of China has been arrested, and there's a coup going on. But
which leader?
Well, the leader of China.
Well, there's a leader of China and there's a leader of the CCP.
Well,
one is the CCP and the other one is the Republic of China.
Yeah. All I know is they said that there's what I was seeing is that there was a military. They were doing a coup.
Okay.
And
yeah,
there was military movement, and they were going to, I guess, their capital or whatever they call it. That's all we know right now, because we don't get that much come out from China because, of course, that's a communist country, and we don't get that much that comes out from there. Same thing like with North Korea and a lot of other countries that are communist. We don't get a lot of info. We only get bits and pieces of what's going on.
Correct.
So,
yeah, that's why I was asking the question there. Anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd seen that a couple of days ago.
Right.
There was a big ruckus, and there was 39 miles of troops going in to arrest him. I'm thinking that's an awful lot of people just to arrest one man. They must have a hell of a.
Well, I think the only reason why that could be possibly it, because of course he's got his own security to protect him, which, we don't know. I guess maybe they wanted to make sure they had an overwhelming amount of force to say, you don't got enough.
Right.
You don't got enough to take care of us. So maybe that's one of the reasons. That's exactly what we did in Grenada. We just overwhelmed them with so much troops and, what we had that that's why it only lasted 4 days, because we just overwhelmed them with so much, with our technology and our soldiers and stuff like that. So that's why it didn't last that long.
Right.
Because they found, I guess in one area, they found a whole bunch of weapons and grenade launchers and rockets and all kinds of stuff. They found all kinds of stuff, but they had left it because they knew we were on the way. And then when we found out that they were at the Calvina barracks, then that's when we started headed that way. So that's when we jumped back in our Blackhawks, and then they dropped us off in small opening, and then started heading up to that barracks.
All right. Well, I was just running down to another channel. I realized they're still on, which is odd. Oh well. Good for them. Hope they do fine. Trying to read some of these down too real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's important to read the chat too, because people,
Oh, absolutely.
want to say something, and I've even seen it before. Like, hey, Shane, you can read my chat? What I sent you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Tracy, or I mean Liz, looks like still on, still going. Must have been a hell of a commotion over there. I'm only seeing 2 mods. I don't know what's all about that. Thought spring cleaning was rough, but it looks like fall cleaning is getting a little rougher. I don't know. Just looks a little odd to me. To each their own.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
You can't make one person believe one way, and you can't believe a person the other way. So you just got to believe for what you got, and you want to say it, and if someone wants to listen, hey, that's fine too.
Oh yeah.
You just can't make someone believe what you're feeling. Can't.
Or answer the phone.
Right. Or answer. Yeah. There you go. I just try to live my life the way I want and the way I feel like I need to do, and
There you go.
There you go.
Yep. That's it.
You just can't take a fork and try to poke it in a person and say, hey, you got to believe the way I believe, or you got to think the way I think. You just can't do that. It don't work like that.
No. Nowhere close.
Yeah. Oh.
Nowhere close. I don't know. I didn't see. I was looking to see if Monty or if Chuck's new channel was going to come on, or I haven't seen it. And I haven't seen them over here, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, because I noticed one thing when I came in, it said premiere, and then it didn't show, like, most of the time it shows in red you're live, and I didn't see that. But I went ahead and hit it anyway because I knew you were.
Right. Mine was just I just put in there for what time I was going to start. Basically, I just pre-scheduled.
Right. Exactly.
But it was mine was going to be live. I'm not going to do any recordings and then put them up later just to fill a hole. If I can't be on that night, I'm just not going to go on that night.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no sense in jumping through hoops.
All right.
But I was looking to see if Bonnie was on. I need to type in up here and see Chuck's new channel and see if it's maybe everybody's over there.
I never know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, I spelled that wrong. No, he's not on, so.
Well, like I say, the internet's been acting kind of weird, so maybe in certain spots the internet's not working right, or So you already saw that I was buffing a little bit, and so then I had to take it out and go on my Wi-Fi.
Right. Huh. Kind of odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just keep plugging along
Yeah.
for a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
Now
My
I can
wife's
breathe.
gonna start cooking dinner and making some
cool.
hamburgers, and after that, we'll go and take a walk to see how much I can do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a little bit. Excuse me. Takes a couple days, maybe a week to get that macaroon in your system good.
Mm-hmm.
But you should be able to start to feel it after that. I was starting to feel it pretty dang good.
Yeah, I'll check into that the macaroon.
Yeah.
I'll check that out. That's me and my wife, we take a lot of different vitamins, and you have problems with your lungs and stuff like that, and if it seems like it's working for you, I guess it wouldn't hurt for me to do it.
It ain't going to hurt you to try, and if it don't work, don't use it. And like I said, if you can't find the high Andes, just make sure it's from the Indies.
You're right, Indies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll explain it to my wife when I get off, and then what we could do is, you say they're at the vitamin stores or something?
Yeah, ours was I bought mine at the GNC store, which is a general nutrition site.
GMC. Okay.
Yeah, it was just a health food store. People go buy their supplements for lifting weights or diet.
I think we do have one down not too far from me if I remember right. If it's still there.
Oh yeah.
So,
and you could probably find it.
Yeah.
Pretty much anywhere.
But it helped your lungs, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Helped my breathing. My body didn't feel as give out either. You know how you get real winded? Oh yeah.
I get winded as well sometimes. Sometimes I have to just kind of breathe in because I don't feel like I'm getting enough oxygen.
Right. And you know how your body just kind of feels like depleted after a little bit?
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't getting that as bad. So
now how long you been on it?
I had to get off of it there for a while due to my I didn't want it messing with my blood pressure and my blood pressure medicine I was on.
Oh, so it can mess with the blood pressure medicine?
I don't know. I just didn't want to take a chance with that.
Oh, you just didn't want to take a chance with it. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm on blood pressure medication myself.
Now that I am too, but now I'm not scared to take it now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not scared to take it now.
Oh, okay.
But at the time I got off of it, and then I just run out, so I've got to get me some more.
Oh, okay.
So
you were just kind of leery.
Yeah, I was just
doesn't say anything on the bottle or anything.
No. Once you get medical into another city, it kind of scares you from doing anything for a little bit.
Yeah, we like I say, me and my wife, we like taking vitamins and all that stuff. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, it's all natural, every bit of it.
I do some research on it and stuff like that. And
absolutely, I think you'll enjoy it. Sure ain't gonna hurt you any. That's for sure.
Right.
Like I said, worst case, if it gives you a bloody nose, you can quit taking it or just see if it'll clear up after a little while after you keep doing it, Mine, it did for a little bit, and then it cleared up, and then, I don't know, it was 3, 4, 5 months again. I got another little bloody nose, but other than that, then cleared up, and I was good.
Now, is it like a blood thinner or something?
No. It just opens the capillaries and pushes so much blood into these capillaries. It's been restricted for so long. That the blood cells are so full of oxygen, it just starts popping them little bitty capillaries.
No,
usually in your nose. Usually in your nose is the smallest ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because remember, I don't know you remember I was in the hospital about 3 months ago or so, something like that. I was in the hospital and I was bleeding internally, and yeah, I was bleeding pretty bad. I lost a lot of blood.
I remember hearing
And
something about that.
yeah, so my doctor took me off of blood thinners, and so I haven't had anything too bad. I haven't had any bleeding. I'm thinking because they couldn't find nothing. They put me through CAT scan. Like I say, they couldn't put me through MRI, but they did CAT scans. They did an upper GI. They did they did the lower. They did all that to do some checking, and they could not find where the bleeding was coming from. So the only thing they could said that possible that it could have came from my smaller intestines. It's a possibility. Now what I'm thinking is, I was thinking about it and I wasn't sure. But when I was near that explosion, when I was in the military, I'm just wondering if maybe it with the explosion it could have done something internally, disrupted something inside my intestines. Now that I've gotten older, it's kind of given me a problem, like everything else.
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
Because they couldn't find nothing.
I want to tell you what, blood thinners they can be hard on your kidneys, liver, intestines, stomach, lining. It just wears them thin, just eats them out.
Yeah.
So
I was on it for a long time too, because from 2010 to, like 3 months ago. So.
Yeah, them thinners. Yeah, they can be dangerous as hell. So, but that's just my opinion.
Right. Well, the doctor was worried because I had a incident when I was in the hospital. I was working for security in a hospital, and we had a guy go 5150, and he started just going ballistic in the ER, and then he went to attack an EMT, and he knew I was to the left of him, and I ended up reaching my arm out because he was gonna hit this EMT without even seeing it, and so I reached out to knock his blow down from him hitting the EMT, but it left me open because I'm reaching with everything I can to knock it down, and I left myself wide open, and
Right.
he pivoted and hit me square in the chest.
Oh shit.
And then when he did that, I picked him up and slammed him on his bed where he was at, and then I was holding him down. Then I had other people come and help me. I called out the code gray, and I was holding his left arm down, and I started sweating like really bad. And then my arm was feeling like someone was twisting it, and I wasn't feeling good. And so one of the techs from the ER said, "Hey, you don't look very good. You're turning white and you're sweating really bad." And I'm going, "Yeah, I'm not feeling too good." And so they did a EKG on me, and they saw that I was having a heart attack.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So they rushed me down. They were going to crack my chest open in the ER and stuff because my artery was totally blocked. And but they had a heart doctor was just right down the street, thank God, and got me down to I forgot that. But they took me down and went up there and put a stent because it collapsed one of my arteries, and they put a stent in there, and so then I got the blood flow.
Right.
So.
Did that artery build itself back up after a while?
Well, no, the stent stays there. It's permanent now.
Right.
So it just all that did, it just opened it up. It's like a little wire mesh, and it's like a little tube. And when they get it to the right spot, they open it up, and it stays like that. So that keeps that artery open.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
But so far have been pretty good, you know.
Yeah, I think we're going to take, since it's 8 o'clock, we'll take about a 3 minute intervention. I'll go find something to play while I am on the bathroom break and finding some tea or something to drink or something equivalent. And then
I,
what's
I think
that?
what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and get going because my wife's cooking dinner, and once we're done with dinner, we're going to take our walk.
All right.
So
Yeah, I heard
I'll go ahead
her
and,
chopping it up.
yeah, she's over there chopping up some stuff, and
Yeah, I'll put on some music for everybody to listen to. Let's take a little 3 minute potty break. And then we'll come back and see if anybody wanted to stick around. If so, then we'll continue this on. I'm sure somebody else will be wanting to come up.
yeah, get Red up here, or
Or
I know
Steve.
she's watching the. I know she's watching the chat, but
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
you know,
Stephen
I know.
Pence or yeah, somebody.
Yeah, well, that'd
So
be good.
oh yeah.
All all right, well, I'll let you go so you can go do what you got to do, and nice talking to everybody in here, and everybody take care and God bless, and I'll see you in the chat.
All right,
All right, go ahead and take me out there, Shane.
all right. I can get her.
All right, buddy.
See you again next go around, bud.
All right, you too.
All right, guys, just give me a half second. I'll go find a little something for us to listen to real quick. And okay, let me check this one here. All right, I think I found one. Let's see if I can get it to where I want it. All right, I'm going to play this, and then we'll get it up here shared, and I'll see everybody just as soon as it's over. And dang it. Cold wind, December wind, just standing outside Toledo. Old man, sitting there, just waiting for someone to care. Hey man, are you hungry? Do you need some help? Do you need a hand? Hey man, can you hear me? Oh God, don't let this man pass before me. Don't let another man, don't let another man die the simple way. Don't let another man, don't let another man die the simple way. I see the CV so all around the world, but not all around. And you know how hard it is when life throws you back and you lose control. Old man, he does believe that his country will stand and fight like he did
Cold wind, December wind. Don't let another man, don't let another man down. December wind. Don't let another man, don't let another man down. December wind. Don't let another man down. December wind. Don't let another man down. December wind. Down, 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 down. Speed the souls.
Well, I hope that was all right for everybody. That was just the quickest one I could bring up right off the bat. Had to go pull it out of a new area. It's a little better sounding quality than the one I played the last time. Hey, D-Dog. How you doing, bud? Well, D-Dog, do you want to come up and give us any interesting information of the day or the weekend or the week? Oh. Everybody kind of got quiet on me. Yep. Yes, Red it is. You can in about 10 minutes. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we could listen to a little bit of weather, I guess. Let me drop it for you. All right. I'll have to go grab it off my other. Hang on just a second, D-Dog. I'll have to grab it off my YouTube side. It ain't gonna get me in trouble, is it? All right, hang on. I'm gonna play this. D-Dog asked me to play this real quick, so I'm gonna play this. You want me to play the whole thing?
All right, I'll just keep my mic muted then.
All right. D-Dog, you want me to play the whole thing? All 9 minutes or just all of it, part of it? You tell me. I think I've seen part of this one, but I don't know. I'm just going to play the whole damn thing, I guess, then. Let's see.
Freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers. Not too long ago, two friends of mine were talking to a Cuban refugee, a businessman who had escaped from Castro. And in the midst of his story, one of my friends turned to the other and said, "We don't know how lucky we are." And the Cuban stopped and said, "How lucky you are. I had some place to escape to." And in that sentence, he told us the entire story. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. In this vote harvesting time, they use terms like the Great Society, or as we were told a few days ago by the president, we must accept a greater government activity in the affairs of the people. But they've been a little more explicit in the past, and among themselves, and all of the things I now will quote have appeared in print. These are not Republican accusations. For example, they have voices that say the Cold War will end through our acceptance of a not undemocratic socialism. Another voice says the profit motive has become outmoded. It must be replaced by the incentives of the welfare state. Or our traditional system of individual freedom is incapable of solving the complex problems of the 20th century. Senator Fulbright has said at Stanford University that the Constitution is outmoded. He referred to the president as our moral teacher and our leader. And he says he is hobbled in his task by the restrictions of power imposed on him by this antiquated document. He must be freed so that he can do for us what he knows is best. And Senator Clark of Pennsylvania, another articulate spokesman, defines liberalism as meeting the material needs of the masses through the full power of centralized government. Well, I, for one, resent it when a representative of the people refers to you and me, the free men and women of this country, as the masses. This is a term we haven't applied to ourselves in America. But beyond that, the full power of centralized government, this was the very thing the Founding Fathers sought to minimize. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people. And they know when a government sets out to do that, it must use force and coercion to achieve its purpose. They also knew, those Founding Fathers, that outside of its legitimate functions, government does nothing as well or as economically as the private sector of the economy. So now we declare war on poverty, or you too can be a Bobby Baker. Now, do they honestly expect us to believe that if we add $1 billion to the $45 billion we're spending, one more program to the 30-odd we have, and remember, this new program doesn't replace any, it just duplicates existing programs, do they believe that poverty is suddenly going to disappear by magic? Well, yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything. Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. Now, we're for a provision that destitution should not follow unemployment by reason of old age. And to that end, we have accepted Social Security as a step toward meeting the problem. But we're against those entrusted with this program when they practice deception regarding its fiscal shortcomings, when they charge that any criticism of the program means that we want to end payments to those people who depend on them for a livelihood. They've called it insurance to us in 100 million pieces of literature. But then they appeared before the Supreme Court, and they testified it was a welfare program. They only used the term insurance to sell it to the people. And they said Social Security dues are a tax for the general use of the government. And the government has used that tax. There is no fund.
This is the Patriot Power Sidekick, and it's going to help me power all of this right here in the middle of nowhere. This little
because Robert Byers, the actuarial head, appeared before a congressional committee and admitted that Social Security as of this moment is $298 billion in the hole. But he said there should be no cause for worry, because as long as they had the power to tax, they could always take away from the people whatever they needed to bail them out of trouble. And that is the issue of this campaign that makes all the other problems I've discussed academic. unless we realize we're in a war that must be won. Those who would trade our freedom for the soup kitchen of the welfare state have told us they have a utopian solution of peace without victory. They call their policy accommodation. And they say if we'll only avoid any direct confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways and learn to love us. All who oppose them are indicted as warmongers. They say we offer simple answers to complex problems. Well, perhaps there is a simple answer. Not an easy answer, but simple. If you and I have the courage to tell our elected officials that we want our national policy based on what we know in our hearts is morally right, we cannot buy our security, our freedom from the threat of the bomb, by committing an immorality so great as saying to 1 billion human beings now enslaved behind the Iron Curtain, give up your dreams of freedom, because to save our own skins, we're willing to make a deal with your slave masters. Alexander Hamilton said, a nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one. Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second: surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then? When Nikita Khrushchev has told his people, he knows what our answer will be. He has told them that we're retreating under the pressure of the Cold War, and someday, when the time comes to deliver the final ultimatum, our surrender will be voluntary, because by that time, we will have been weakened from within spiritually, morally, and economically. He believes this because from our side, he's heard voices pleading for peace at any price, or better read than dead, or as one commentator put it, he'd rather live on his knees than die on his feet. And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools. And our honored dead, who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis, didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they must not advance. This is the meaning, in the phrase of Barry Goldwater, peace through strength. Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty, our own destiny. Thank you very much.
How are you, D-Dub? Yeah, you were still muted.
What do you think of that Reagan speech?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that other one, too. I like them both. I like the hell out of them.
Yeah, I believe one of them was from actually 64, and then there's one from 66, too, that's really good.
Yeah, the one from 66, I think that's the one I knew pretty well. Or not knew, but I listened to several times.
Yep.
RH, you still with us?
Yes, sir.
You wanted to bring up the weather real quick, you said?
Yeah. Just a short summary.
All right.
If you have that link. just to give a quick overview, 1947, the National Security Act, they basically initiated a separate branch of the U.S. Armed Forces, which became the U.S. Air Force. And after that, in the 50s, the United States Air Force became basically the branch of service that conducted research, development, and basically initiation of weather modification.
Now, which one you
Okay.
talking about? The first link or the second link that you want me to pull up?
Okay, I thought I only shared one link.
Yeah, it may be just one link. You are correct. I see it's only one of them's underlined. How long is
Okay.
this?
Yeah, if you just bring it up, it's an article. It's not a video, so you
Oh, okay.
can
Okay.
read just
Hang on.
maybe a couple paragraphs of it. But basically, it gives NOAA. Now, this isn't from some conspiracy theorist or some unreliable source. Okay, we've worked with United States Air Force after the development, especially after the development of radar, which we had radar during World War II. They already had a radar equipment set up and detected the attack on Pearl Harbor before the Japanese fleet even got there. So they thought that the radar signature of all those aircraft coming in were basically faulty signatures. So to just give you a quick briefing on that, radar also detects weather.
Correct.
We had actually on our scopes, radar scopes, we had a button where we can select weather or we can turn it off. Okay, when you turn off weather, basically you turn off a lot of clutter on your scope where you have a clear scope, you can pick out your targets easier.
Correct.
So using weather and the development of weather modification systems, they were able to understand the effects of energy, directed energy, dispersal systems of certain particles in the atmosphere, and which includes cloud seeding dispersal systems, to basically develop weather to include rain. Now, what happens with these programs, these real programs, they compartmentalize them and they conduct operations unbeknownst to the American people. But you'll see from other countries, for example, some squabbles going on about how, for example, Iran was accusing Israel of stealing their clouds. Okay, so there's information out there in quite a few places if you just know where to look, to prove that these systems are operational and they're ongoing. You can actually just do a quick Google search as far as cloud seeding operations. You can actually pay a company that have fleets of cloud seeding aircraft to cloud seed over a certain areas of farmlands or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you might know a little bit about that. But if you don't mind, bring up the article, provide the article link so people can read the information themselves. Now, what's disturbing with this current tropical storm, I don't know if it's been declared a hurricane yet, a Category 1 hurricane yet or not, but I think it's going to be after it actually passes through Cuba that'll get actually strengthened. But I watched this really closely. Now we have NOAA, a NOAA mission, only about 4 miles from my home. Lakeland Linder conducts NOAA operations, and basically NOAA, the U.S. Air Force, and from what I understand, the Space Force is now included in those operations.
Okay.
So if they have say for example, a depression, now the Eon, I guess you call it, started out as depression number 9, I believe. Okay. If you pepper that up with cloud seeding particles, you can produce what we're seeing now. And we're being drenched in Florida. Tonight, we've already gained probably in central Florida, about 2 inches of rain, way out in front of Ian already. So they're softening up Florida for basically a surge, a large surge, and it looks like it's being pointed at Tampa, St. Petersburg, Bay Area, which there's about 3 to 4 million people. Now, what's disturbing to me is that's the reason why I'm not going to stay silent. I'm going to share official sources themselves so people can go in and look up actually weather modification project reports. Now, this goes back to the 50s. They've actually they define these operations now. The scope of these operations. So now, what we're looking at with the intensifying these depressions, we're looking at superstorms. And I've been watching this closely for many years now. So, and they also like to pepper up the cloud seeding operations in the southwest seas off the coast of Africa. That's where they really like to start these things off. It's getting disturbing to me because I've seen unusual paranormal, not paranormal, but unusual, unnatural weather formations. Now remember, I have a space operations degree, a degree in space operations. I have professional knowledge about what I'm talking about.
Correct.
I've worked with these scopes. I've worked with these radar scopes and actually fine-tune my radar picture to see particles in the air, which includes the ash from Mount St. Helens. I've actually detailed my radar scope picture to basically see exactly what I want to see, pick out exactly what I want to see. So this is how they develop weather modification, using radar, the radar picture. Now, it's not only just the radar picture, the ground radar, long-range radar. We're talking about space radar, space projection, energy. Okay, we're at it where you have to include it all together now because Space Force, U.S. Air Force, NOAA, and even you can include the Marine Corps because the Marine Corps has a detachment in Florida to help provide the maintenance support on the fleet of aircraft they have in Central Florida. There's 110 civilians working there to provide support for the mission. There's a 3-star general in charge of just the Central Florida operation. So Now, we basically, the way they compartmentalize this stuff is we have no oversight. No, really, we don't have oversight that we need to make sure that these people, especially individuals, these multi-billionaires that decide they're going to start throwing out all these particles in the atmosphere to so-called reflect sunlight away from the earth. Now, when you're talking about these major manipulations of particles being dropped over our oceans, over the Gulf of Mexico, over our land, that's when you got to start taking note. And basically, they're running autonomously. These things are compartmental classified to a level that even the president of the United States isn't informed about many of these things. Now, I was about to talk about earlier with Ian is, and I'm not trying, the more information we have, Shane, and I think your listeners would agree, the more information we put out there, it's not to cause fear porn. It's to provide the information to inform and educate the listeners so we can do something about it.
Correct.
The negative part of this is people covering it up because they have financial interest or interest in being promoted in these, top level management positions in all levels of our government and include the military and, 3-letter type, you know what I mean? No, so what I'm breaking news on here is this might be sort of standard procedure here in the last couple of years for the weather stations to report that they're using forecast of European weather, okay, over U.S. weather. Now, European weather forecast on the projection of Ian began first, and they were really hyping this up to be like a major superstorm that was going to hit landfall right over Tampa to cause the greatest amount of panic that they could, in my opinion. This is my opinion. This is Area 111's opinion. Okay, but our U.S. systems of tracking, forecasting, and projections are second to none in the world. Our budgets, as far as development, fielding, whatever, experimentation, is greater than any country in the world, and basically you can find China, Russia, any of the major superpowers when it comes to nuclear superpowers combined. And we've been doing this since the 50s. So now we know why y'all know why the European Union was formed, correct? Y'all know why the main purpose of the European Union. So when we're talking about information coming from the European Union, why the European Union was formed was to provide a competitor against the United States, because our GDP is and continues to be, shockingly so, the number one GDP in the world, even after what we experienced. So Europe formed a bureaucracy to have bureaucrats basically call shot over all the independent European states to basically say what goes when it comes to their economy, their currency, to compete with the United States of America. Now, we might call that friendly competitorship or whatever, however you want to say it. But in certain things, when it comes to the economy, basically the European Union is looking out for themselves first. And the United States should be looking out for ourselves first. You know what I mean? When it comes to things like this that negatively affect millions and millions and millions of American citizens every single day. So I hope people take the information. Now, let me go back again. Okay, the first day that their projections were being forecasted, it was coming from Europe.
Okay.
The second day, they started to include the U.S. projections from NOAA, okay, our scientists, and they showed a projection where basically it was far west of Tampa. They went back to the European forecast. Now, look what it's caused. It's caused panic throughout Florida. Even in Central Florida, we just went to a major grocery store chain. Almost every single loaf of bread is off the shelf already. Gone. Every single bottle of water, gone. You go to Home Depot, every single piece of plywood is gone. And we're talking Central Florida. You know, normally we have a historical, basically pattern for hurricanes or tropical storms. They normally spin up the coast, the Gulf Coast, on the western coast of Florida, and they spin up on the east coast, on the Atlantic coast of Florida. They don't normally go straight up the center of Florida, and especially like Irma. Irma was really disturbing watching the formation of it and how it went up basically right up the center of Florida. And the damage it caused Central Florida, I think, is probably one of the worst in the history of tracking, major storms like this. So, yeah, I'm going to kind of like that's the information I wanted to share. I didn't want to hog up the channel tonight, and now be reasonable. If you're on the coastal waters, especially you live on the coast of Florida, on the Gulf Coast of Florida, obviously you got to be concerned with flooding. Okay, now if you're new to the coast of Florida and you got to bug out, before you bug out, try to get as many sandbags. Okay, you got a little bit of time left to get your sandbags set up where you won't get flooding into your home. Set up your sandbags, try to get you a couple layers of sandbags at least before you leave, and get your, if you want to nail plywood or you got to put your shutters down or whatever, and bug out. Take the stuff you need to bug out. There's no sense risking your life over something. If you got the money, now you might just want to take higher ground. Now in Central Florida, my location, I'm at 200 feet above sea level. Now you're looking at places on the coast of Florida that are below sea level. That's the places I'm talking about. And Governor DeSantis did the right thing by declaring a state emergency, Florida state emergency, based on the flooding alone, because we've already had flooding concerns already and floods happening because we've already had over 9 inches of rain. The average yearly landfall, inches of rain that we normally have in Florida, it's already over 9 inches above that. And we're still in September. So it's going to greatly exceed the normal amount of rainfall that we have in the state of Florida for this year, when this year ends. So I hope that's good information. Keep your chin up and just, be smart. Most of this stuff is common sense. So I hope that helps. And if anybody's got any questions, I might be able to stick around. But that article pretty much will explain the history of weather modifications, which includes cloud seeding, for people out there that keep being provided disinformation saying that this is a conspiracy theory. It's not true. It's just fear porn. No, please be informed. Okay. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Hey, RH, why don't you go drop that in the regular chat too? So they
Well,
can
I
skim.
could, but yeah, I'm not a mod, so
Oh,
I could if you make me a mod. So I'll stick around and chat. If anybody's got any questions, thanks for the information, D Dog, about the Constitution and Reagan. Yeah, he's a really great president. Had a lot of basically warnings about what you provided tonight. But thanks a lot.
hey, hang on a second. I'm trying to find you now. I'll mod you real quick, and then you can go over and there you are. Okay.
So how's RH today?
Oh, I'm hanging down there. I'm kind of chilling out tonight. I get a little bit excited about things, but it normally cools down, and
A little
I,
excited? Okay.
no, just a little excited. I mean,
I'd hate to see him overexcited. He might have a stroke.
yeah. Well, I try to put it in a coherent way, but of course, when you get a lot of jamming and whatever, kind of like you gotta kind of cut through the chaff, sometimes, and might be sounding kind of disturbing for some, but like you're putting out a lot of good information, and you're spending your time and energy to make sure people are informed. And whenever you get a lot of chaff, you got to send out a signal flare to divert the attention somewhere else, but get that chaff off you, whatever, or that missile. You know what I mean? Oh,
No, I welcome it.
yeah. Well, I'm not as old as a lot of people out there, but I'm getting tired of, people that just like to cause trouble.
Yep.
What, RH, today's your birthday?
Yeah, I turned 26 today.
Yeah.
With how many years of practice?
I'm reading in Hebrew, though.
Okay.
I'm reading in Hebrew. Y'all know it's right to left, right?
Yes, it's backwards, 62.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm legal for Social Security. I might have to ask you the constitutional repercussions on that, D Dog, when you're bored and you have time.
Well, there's enough people out there, well, especially in the Moore type realm, that have found a loophole to get all your Social Security in one check.
Yep. You don't have to have the payments.
Yeah, one check would be good.
Yeah. All right, Harriet, when you go back down in the chat, you can drop what you need to.
All right. Yeah, sometimes when you see somebody excited, there might be a lot of other things in the background that you're not aware of. You know what I mean? So just sometimes you got to kind of like just take a breather, think about it a little bit, and not get, get pulled into that division type thing. You know what I mean? Because I'm definitely not here to cause division.
That or you just look up and say, honey, could you go put some clothes on? You distract me and I can't keep attention to what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, those domestic issues I try to keep off air.
Yeah, well, I went to a constitutional class today, and I ended up getting escorted out.
They was teaching you incorrectly, were they?
They didn't like the questions. I asked them, what is the definition of this word? And they gave it to me. I said, well, that's not according to Webster's Dictionary of 1828. Well, that dictionary is too old. We can't use that anymore. I said, well, no, Webster said when he released that dictionary that the only reason he wrote it is so people can better understand the Constitution. And the Supreme Court still refers to it. So why is it too old? And then I asked him about a couple of Bible verses on what they were talking about, First Amendment stuff. And, oh, no, you can't use the Bible for that because separation of church and state. And then I gave him some facts about that, and then I get escorted out. So
By the lunch lady?
I'm tired of these posers pretending to know what they're talking about.
Was that there local in your area?
No, it was somewhat of a blue, well, purple county. So
did they have the heads up you was coming?
No, I don't have to tell no one where I go. Oh yeah, and the what is it? FDAA is requesting that everyone registers their family garden.
What?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
So, a YouTuber that put down a real good information about that is I think it's Off Grid Living with Doug and Stacy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he dropped a really good one on that because they're already getting closer to socialism, and part of it is they're going to go and extract your wealth and disperse it.
Correct.
So if they think you're hoarding food, even though you grew it yourself and you paid for the seed and you took care of it and you watered it and everything else, they're going to come and get it and they're going to disperse it.
It's kind of hard to disperse something they don't own.
Well, it's kind of hard for them to tell us we got to mask up when they don't have the right to do that.
Correct.
But everyone did.
For the ladies and gentlemen that want to know, Bonnie just went live. So I don't know what it is. The girls are back in town is what it's called. So I know if it was the boys are back in town, that'd be a Thin Lizzy song. But so anyway, anybody wanted to know, I wanted to throw it out there. I'm not going to try to take away from her whatsoever. Not that I could.
Well, maybe you could. You got a pretty mouth.
You're so not right.
That's the second time today I heard that. And I got one. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Was that when you was getting escorted out?
No, that was. I stopped at my Walmart to pick up some more life support juice.
Right.
And Joe, he's one of the managers in the eye department. You know, where you get glasses and stuff.
Right.
He went walking by me and didn't say nothing. And he was talking to the store manager. And I go, "Hey, Joe, you got a really cute wiggle when you walk away." So the store manager turned beat ass red, and Joe said a few choice words to me.
Did you teach him how to walk where he wouldn't wiggle like that?
No, he's on his own. He's a grown man. He got to figure it out himself.
Clench his ass cheeks a little bit more or something.
Yeah. Yeah, walk around with almost having to poop syndrome and you won't have no wiggle.
Try to hold a quarter in between your butt cheeks the whole time.
Yeah.
All right. What is on your shirt? Yeah, no kidding. You can't scare me. I got 2 daughters.
Yep. My girls gave that to me for Christmas 3 years ago, and like I had to go up to their school today, so I wore that and stuff, and it just embarrasses them, so I rock it. along with the other shirt that says "Rules for dating my daughter." Number 1, don't.
Yeah. Rule number 2, refer back to rule number 1.
No, it doesn't even go that far.
Just has a picture of a gun.
That's another shirt. I can't remember what it says, but it's all on the back.
Yeah. That's wild.
Did y'all hear this new Italian prime minister? I think they're saying she's the most conservative. They described her since Mussolini. So what are your thoughts on that, D-Dog? Mussolini?
Okay, they started calling her a leftist because of her conservative principles, about God and all that other stuff. They called her a leftist.
A
Now
leftist?
over in Europe, that's kind of the way they go. Their shit is opposite of ours. Like a baby boy in America is light blue, but over in Europe, a baby boy is pink.
Yeah, I knew there was a little bass backwards over there. Well, they're different than what we are, I should say.
Right. Yeah, they're different. Let's just put it that way instead of, labeling someone of being wrong.
Right.
And now they're claiming that she's moderate.
Oh, really? So
Yep.
she slid off in the middle somewhere?
Yeah, and I think it was, God, I can't even remember who that was. They came out and said that if she doesn't, basically, if she doesn't fall in line with the European narrative, she's going to get sanctions.
And who are they going to try to sanction her?
Well, the rest of the European Union.
Okay.
So let's get this straight. They took down the EU flag, European Union flag, at the Italian embassy in Rome. Is that what the news is?
That's one of them.
Okay, and what's this news about? If this is true, I was wanting to ask somebody that's pretty knowledgeable in current events. Do y'all hear that the UK or the British their population had to turn in their paper currency? Is that actually true?
I don't know, and I know enough people over there and stuff that someone would have called and told me.
I was probably watching, looking at a satire site or something when I saw it. I didn't really dig into it that much, but I wouldn't have been surprised. Well, the Vatican had everybody basically return their currency back to what, the Vatican Bank?
They was trying, yeah.
Well, that's what. Let's see, who were the idiots that were talking about that shit earlier? Patriots 5 and 6. God, those guys are idiots. I like watching them because it's kind of like comic relief for me.
It's like SNL.
No, it's funnier.
Oh, okay.
Like I get all excited whenever I get an Instagram notification because the only person I'm following on Instagram is AOC because of that funny, weird shit she says. Man, it just makes my day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's the only reason I have that app is for her.
Yeah, I wonder how all that money recoup is going for them. And why are they trying to recall it all? Didn't they have control of it already? How'd they lose control of their own money? Are they calling in notes and throwing everybody out on their ear? What's going on?
I guess it's like, okay, that there's a pretty large contingent of basically Italians in the United States, and the so-called institutions. I mean, like the religious institution. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, But you know, they use currencies there too. I guess they I don't know why they would have foreign currency on hand, but sounds like the Vatican is recalling it all back to the Vatican Bank. From my understanding, I mean, please somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't understand why they would be talking about that. You would think, well, the Vatican currency, you got the Italian currency. Is it both currencies they're trying to uh, bring back into the Vatican Bank? I don't know. So I think I'll just shut up with that before I dig myself deeper in a deeper hole than I already am.
Well, Roy said it was old banknotes.
Just recalling notes.
Right.
Okay, so they have a new currency that's less likely to be counterfeited then.
Yeah, whatever. But they're not on a digital threshold yet. They're, they still actually give you the fiat currency.
Right.
Yeah, everyone said that everything is going digital and all this other stuff. It's like, come on, you ass clowns, get with the program.
You know how long that'd take to switch over? For
a single flip of the switch. But if you want to see things go kinetic in America, start screwing with people's money.
Oh yeah, especially their retirements. You're going to see.
That doesn't even matter. Just screw with their holdings.
Yeah.
Make it so you have to have a digital footprint to buy a pack of gum. And then when you go and buy something they don't want you to have, then boom, next thing you do is you got FBI up your ass.
For a minute.
Y'all heard about the BlackRock bankruptcy, that they are voluntarily going to turn in all their assets?
Yeah, right. I seen that Chapter 11 document someone dropped, and it doesn't even look right to me.
Now, all they're going to do is drop they're going to drop all their notes that's owed to them and call them in. And they say, well, we can't pay them, so we're done. But they're going to keep every dime they have. You watch.
Yeah, if BlackRock and Vanguard go belly up, then why doesn't the news start talking about it? Because they're not under the restrictions of Vanguard saying, hey, you got to do this because we own 51% in shares.
Yep.
I guess if it's true, then I was wondering if the theory could be correct that it had something to do with 13848. Is it 2018 September EO? I don't know.
Okay, EOs mean zero to me. I'm not part of the executive branch.
Yeah. Well, they are constitutional when it comes to national security, and certain foreign policy. So, not all of them. I agree with you. Some of them are written where you might have an argument that they're not constitutional, but
See you, Liz.
and we got difference of opinion with that. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaving it alone, because the only one that can make laws and stuff is the legislative branch. Executive branch can't. All they can do is enforce laws.
Correct.
Executive orders are only for emergency notification to the executive branch. That's all it's for.
Yeah, I kind of wonder how crooked this is going to go before the end of this crap, before November. It's already getting stupid. Well, it's been stupid for 2 years.
Well, if you think it's stupid now, wait until the October surprise.
Do you think there'll be one?
Well, there is every election year, so why wouldn't they?
Well, that's true. That's true.
It's okay. I will almost put money on it that they're going to try to lock us down for climate problems.
Yeah, probably. Which is even dumb.
Now, wouldn't
Yeah,
wouldn't
all
that
right.
the motive be for what we talked about earlier tonight? Wouldn't that be a great motive for what they're doing, and try them for them to attribute this to climate change?
Well, it doesn't matter. Every time it rains, there's climate change. Every time things get hotter, it's because of the solar winds aren't the same, or the glaciers are melting. But if it gets colder, they're not going to say nothing about nothing.
Right. Yeah, it's been a lie since 1999, and it isn't going to change.
No, it's been a lie before that.
Right.
Yeah, it's called seasons. Seasons.
Well, not only do we have the seasons, we also have cycles.
Correct.
Right.
You know,
So-
a general cycle of weather is 11 years.
Yeah, sun activity, mostly driven by sun activity.
Right. And then whenever they say we have that 100-year storm, that 100-year storm is actually 121 years between the two big storms. But they call it a 100-year storm.
Huh.
Well,
Yeah,
fellas, I'm gonna call it a night. Enjoy the rest of my night. I think I'm gonna get partially inebriated while I still have. Was it already? Oh, what time is it? It's only 10 o'clock. I got 2 hours. All right, great. I can have a lot of fun in 2 hours.
There you go.
Hey,
Just don't get in trouble.
RH.
Yeah, go
RH,
ahead.
I'm really glad you had a chance to see me today.
Why is that?
Just because.
On my birthday? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? Okay, man.
It's your birthday. Get busy.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
Yep.
See you,
Happy
bud.
birthday, old man.
Thank you.
Oh. There's always plenty of information there.
Yep.
Yep, got plenty. So, other than getting thrown out of a one of your lectures you went to, anything else exciting happen?
No, that was about it. And you know, I've had it up on the screen 3 times. I was going to post the whole thing, but you know, what they're doing is mostly factual. So I'm just going to let them have this as a win for them,
Okay.
because they are educating others, even though they're not showing everything.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, hey, you got to give each of them one of their dues.
right.
If they're doing the right thing, they're just not putting out all the footnotes and everything that go with it. I guess they're not doing wrong. They just need to go back and then do a follow up with a thorough through.
Well, they go from county to county, and they go to questionable counties that you're not sure if they're conservative or liberal.
Right.
And I think this is their 8th or 9th one. But they may end up looking into some of our liberty documents that are actually mentioned in the Federalist Papers, or some of the documents in the Anti-Federalist Papers. They may start looking at some of that.
Right. Okay.
Because all they basically did was they read a section of the Constitution, then say, does anyone have any questions about that? Well, you gave me an open. I'm going to open my mouth.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes knowledge is a good thing. Sometimes it can get you in a little bit of a pickle.
Sometimes it'll get you escorted out of a meeting that you know more about than the people having it.
I was trying to be kind when I said that.
No, you don't have to worry about being kind. Just be you, Shane.
Okay. Yeah, some people don't like hearing people that's smarter than them. It does not bug me one iota.
Yep. And one of my favorite little sayings is "fuck your feelings."
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I try not to. It's real easy to be smarter than me, so it's not like I go in and try to be smart anywhere. I go in and ask lots of questions. I do that.
Well, I don't try to be smarter than anyone. I just try to be more knowledgeable than the other person.
Correct. There's a difference between smart and knowledgeable.
Right. And if I go in and try to correct somebody on a statement they made, then they get defensive and they're not going to learn. If you ask them questions about that statement and everything else, they're going to start to rethink that. Maybe the next time they say it, it's going to be different.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But whenever people start talking about the Vatican stuff, like I've even said with you, okay, now we're doing the Vatican nonsense, or now we're doing the DC nonsense.
Right.
Yeah, but as a man or a woman, DC and the Vatican and Great Britain and the Bar Association and your local government doesn't mean shit. You're in charge.
Correct.
It's in every Bill of Rights for every state that all power is inherent and derived from the people. And if that's not good enough for you, go into the Bible and it'll tell you how you're in charge.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, my God. What time did I come on here? 6? Okay.
Yeah, you're only 3 hours into this.
Yeah, it's only 3 hours into this one. That ain't bad.
John's here. We got to shape up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's back, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He was in here earlier. Anita Farting House. That's Craig's wife.
Yeah, Craig's warden is here.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. I think she's happy, so she's probably going to sentence Craig to 1 more year.
Of labor?
Of marriage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah, right. Hey, Pappy Two Bears. How you doing, bud?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So you feeling a little better?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I had to cough from hell today and finally convinced myself to send somebody down after some cough drops, and I did. And I was already on the line, so they went down and got them. And after that first one, I was all ready. Oh, my God. Heaven. Yeah.
Have you even looked into willow bark tea?
I have not. I know you've mentioned it before.
Right. But they use that in the 1800s to cure emphysema.
Willow bark tea.
Yep.
I'm gonna write that down.
That was like the cure all, like penicillin was.
Right.
Yep. Influenza, emphysema, a bunch of other stuff. And then there's a bush that'll grow anywhere, and the worse the soil conditions are, the better it grows, and that's camphor. And that's
I've heard
got a
camphor.
ton of benefits, like arthritis and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's an anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, camphor.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it depends if you're using the roots, the leaves, or the blossoms.
Okay.
Yep. But that's a huge medicine.
Okay. I wrote them down. Yeah, I remember hearing of camphor several different times. I knew it was an anti-inflammatory.
Yep. Yeah, it does a ton of stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Willow bark tea. They offer that pretty much anywhere, or is it just mostly up north? Or
What, camphor?
Mm-mm.
What, willow
bark?
bark?
Yeah.
That any place that you can grow a willow, you can actually grow the correct willow for it.
Okay.
I'm sure you can grow willow around where you're at.
We do weeping willows out here. Yeah.
Right.
They're a
So,
little tough
but
to grow.
if you get into a marsh or a swamp or along a river, there's a good chance there's swamp willow down there too.
Okay. And is that where you use the inside of the bark, that white soft meat?
Yeah, that real thin meat.
Yeah.
You do a strip on a tree about 2 inches wide,
Right.
and you start as high as you can get.
Right.
Because you're going to kill everything above that whenever you take out the actual white meat of that tree.
Okay.
But everything will be able to go around, and the tree will be fine. It's just, and the next time you go out there, you take a patch below that. You don't just take it, here and there in random places. You just keep it like a 2-inch wide strip going all the way down to the root ball.
Okay.
But just take a little bit at a time.
That stuff goes a long way, huh?
Well, now that you're letting the tree heal itself.
Okay. Okay. All right, Meemaw Patriot. Good night. Yeah, they're starting to fall off pretty good now, so. But that's all right. Still got 100 in here. We're all good for a minute. So, like I said, I was kind of with my coughing and everything earlier. I had a slow start and didn't even know how long I was going to be on here. And like I said, them cough drops did wonders. They taste like crap, the ones I got, but I didn't go pick them out. These were lemon, but they don't. At first, they taste like lemon, then they go to crap on me.
Yeah.
Menthol, 7.5 milligram per drop. Honey lemon flavor. I think they forgot to add the honey in these.
Yeah, well, whenever I get a bad coughing attack, I figure I'm getting too much oxygen, so I just have another cigarette.
Yeah, I tried that, and it didn't work so well for me.
Yeah, I've had those days too.
Yeah. I've had a lot of mucus and nasal drainage since I got sick last week. And so, that's what caused it, really. And then I'm sure smoking helped tremendously.
Right, but that willow bark tea would have knocked it right out.
Okay. Well, I will do my best to see about finding some of that. If I can't find it, I will get online and order it.
Yep. But I got to take off, Shane.
All right. Yeah, it won't be long. I'll be shutting this bad dude down.
Yeah, the Zoom I'm supposed to get on started a minute ago.
Uh-oh. You better get out of here, bud.
Okay, later.
See you, bye.
Later, good people.
All right, I'll drop the link one more time in case somebody wants to come up, but if not, then I'm going to shut her in. Okay. So I dropped the link. Like I said, if somebody wants to bounce up here, there it is. Yeah, pineapple juice does too. Fresh pineapple does. There's a lot of things that'll help cut phlegm in a hurry. You know, they say salt does too. It's regular old table salt. So I've been trying to use that liberally because they said I was low on salt anyway. Just step away, be right back. See if anybody wants to come up. Oh. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Well, I don't see no one waiting in the background. Yeah, Pappy, I can try that. I've got all that stuff. I think. Let me look again. Yeah, I think I've got all that. Well, at least my nose ain't as runny as it was. It's trying to dry up now a little bit. So whatever's in them cough drops, the honey and the lemon, I guess, is helping a little bit. Only need one more to get me to 950, huh? Oh, that's impressive. Yes, oregano is good for the lungs too. Helps clear out phlegm and mucus. Yep. Read that a bunch. Anyway, the link's out there, guys. About 5 more minutes, and if no one wants to come up, then I'll just bail. Go take a vacation where there's salt water. Boy, that'd be nice if I could afford that. Not at this time. I may have to wait a bit. Hey, Kim. How are you? You're kind of popping in here kind of late this evening. Well, I guess it's not too terribly late, but well, maybe tomorrow we'll have some more interesting guests. I'll try to make a few phone calls and see if I can get a few more on also. I know one of them I could probably get, but it's probably only going to be on Wednesday if he's not already scheduled. So I'll have to call him tomorrow for sure. So anyway, anybody have anything interesting they want to talk about real quick? Or if not, we'll just shut her in. All right. Well, I guess we'll spend 3 hours and 23 minutes. I guess that's plenty. I'm out of things to talk about, so all right, guys, girls. I'm going to shut her down. Red, do you want to come up? All right, Pappy. That'd be good. You're always welcome here. Yeah, yeah, Kim, that's what I was saying. You're showing up pretty late. We've been on since 6. We'll be back on tomorrow at 6. And I'm going to try to keep it at 6 from here on out. It may be only 6 to 8, but I'm going to try to keep this schedule. A lot of people didn't like the 6 o'clock shot because there was another channel on that usually stole everybody, but I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, Kay, I felt fine. I just had the coughs and just need a cough drop or two. Oh, okay. You got intel. Hang on. Okay. Okay, let me pull it up a little bigger here. There was a military helicopter hovering over the Toyota factory this afternoon for a long time. It circled and then it went back towards Evansville. Okay. Did you ever hear any details out of it? Or if not, keep your ears open. Maybe you'll hear something. Might have had a little disturbance going on there that kind of spooked somebody, or Maybe they're just trying to spook them out. I don't know. Evansville. Not sure where that is. Interesting, to say the least. Wonder if it was a sniffer plane, like they had a leak of something, or a sniffer copter. Okay, hang on. I gotta answer somebody, guys. Just a second. Anyway, uh, Indianapolis. Okay, close to Louisville. Okay. Sorry, I was having to take care of something, guys. Oh, wait, hell, I wasn't done. I was. I think it was. Better do it again and make sure. I think that's it. All right. Yeah. Sometimes I get a little confused, people. Still new at this game. Hey, Michael. Yeah, I'm fixing to shut her down, Michael. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm done for the evening. So I'm going to shut this thing off and take care of a few things and then call it a night. So, Michael, we'll be back on tomorrow at 6. So, yeah, you're more than welcome to come back tomorrow. like I said, I'm going to try to keep this time at 6 o'clock, and we'll go from there. So anyway, y'all have a good evening. I'll talk to y'all soon. See y'all tomorrow. See you.